Yeah, this episode's not going to suck like the last 100 or so. This one's going to rock with the nice guys on business.
When the hell did this become an advice show?
Well, it's funny. Like, we always talk about business advice and we don't get into it much, but we do talk about life advice on and off, where it's like, if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of your business.
Maybe we should call this the nice guys on life.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. And we've realized that entrepreneurs are not our audience anyway. It's really realtors.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss the nice guys on business. I'll have what the nice guys on business are having. Need an education on how to grow your business? The nice guys are here to help. Learn about great customer service, networking, and how just being nice can help you prosper. Now, here are your hosts, Doug Sandler and Strickland Bonner.
Welcome back. Welcome back. It's Thursday. You have almost made it to the end of the week. My name is Strickland Bonner. Doug Sandler on the other side of the microphone. Hopefully we can make your morning, your afternoon, or your evening just a little bit better.
I'm still wearing the same pajamas I was wearing when we recorded Tuesday's episode.
Yeah, you've been wearing them all week, I know.
I really feel like I have been.
You're adopting the Tim Ferriss mantra of don't think too hard about what you wear, right?
I don't want to think too hard. I wish I could do that a little bit more often. I'm a little self-conscious when I wear like a black shirt with jeans too many days. I don't. But then again, I'm going to throw a little admission out there. I don't wash my jeans after every wear. Does anybody do that?
Oh God, no. Hell no.
No, I think they're really getting into, you're finally getting into like the sweet spot, like around 2 or 3 days after wearing your jeans. And then if you can go a week without washing them, is anybody grossed out by this? I don't know.
I totally. When it comes to jeans, like when it comes to shirts, right? When you got a shirt, you have to wear it one day and you have to wash it because you got your underarms and you're sweating in it, right? But like jeans, I'll do the smell test on jeans. Like I'll wear them 3 or 4 times and then, just put it to your nose.
I have to say, I've never done the smell test on jeans, but I have to think in some summer days, you got some pretty good crotch rot that's working out there.
Well, and that's the whole point. That's why we do the smell test. If I notice that I've got the crotch rot, that's when you throw it in the old laundry bin.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. If I ever ride my motorcycle, I got one wear out of those jeans.
Well, that's different. Yes. I could totally see that.
Yeah. I can't do that. But no, I mean, I really do think you're getting into the zone when you're 2 or 3 days into jeans. You finally get they're broken in from when you put your jeans in the dry. Do you dry your jeans or do you not dry your jeans?
Yeah, I put them in the dryer. Yeah.
Yeah, when I dry my jeans, they get a little bit snug, right. And so it takes a couple days before you really start to get out of that snugness. I don't want to then just throw them in the hamper again and have to wash. I go through the process again. Hey, how many pairs of jeans do you have in your closet?
4 or 5.
I'm sorry. How many
Maybe
pairs
4.
of jeans do you have that you wear?
Yeah, 4 or 5 maybe. I mean, I have 2 or 3 that I wear regularly and 2 others that have some holes in the knees that I haven't thrown out, but they still fit and I wear them sometimes. Yeah.
Special project jeans.
I actually have a whole stack of jeans and pants that probably 4 or 5 years ago, I lost maybe 30 pounds or so over a year, right?
Yeah, of course.
So they don't fit anymore, right? But I'm throwing them out because it's like 4 or 5 pairs of Levi's, right? So, I mean, they're expensive and they're in good shape. And then like some Dockers and some nice pants. I'm thinking, tell me if somebody does this, right? Like if I'm on eBay, right? Let's say I'm a guy who used to be a certain size and I've shrunk down. If I could just go on eBay and say, hey, I'm going to buy 10 pairs of pants that are, they're used, but they're in good shape, but they're all the same size, which happens to be my new size. Yeah. Wouldn't that be something great to buy on eBay? I mean,
no, not buying anybody else's, not buying anybody's pants.
Well, but you're not like that. You would never do that anyway.
I'm not sure I'd buy anybody's pants. But interestingly enough, though, I'd buy somebody's jacket. I don't know what the difference is. Like, what's the difference? Why do I have this feeling like I get a little bit oogie thinking about wearing somebody else's pants?
Yeah,
it's
that's why.
Would you buy somebody else's socks?
Yeah, you're right. I wouldn't buy socks or underwear from somebody else, but I would buy pants. I guess everybody's line is in a different place. It makes sense.
My line is above the waist. Anything above the waist, I'm okay with. I don't even know if I'd buy somebody else's shirt. I'm like, they're not expensive. Oh, speaking of which, I can remember going to, what's the most you've spent on a pair of jeans in your life?
Maybe $40, $45, maybe.
So I got a little story. So I go. Do we introduce ourselves? Have we done that yet?
I think so. Doug Sandler on the other side of the microphone. I'm Strickland Bonner.
Okay, that's cool. Hey, I went to Nordstrom's with my daughter. This has got to be going back probably, let's see, my daughter's 24. So this is probably about maybe almost 10 years ago now. As a matter of fact, I still have the jeans, so I know it's about 10 years ago. I went into Nordstrom's with my daughter, and they have like normal. They have Levi's jeans there, but they're a little bit like the specialty kind of Levi's jeans
Because they sell them at Nordstrom's, of course.
Yeah, because they sell them at Nordstrom's. So it might have been like $65 or $70. So I wasn't going to do that. I could have gone into Target and bought Levi's jeans. So I didn't do that. But I tried on these jeans. They were called 7 for Mankind jeans. I don't know if you know that label at all.
Nope.
Anyway, so I try them on, and my daughter's like, "You've got to buy those jeans, Dad." She said, "Those are really good jeans. Good fit, looks good, right length, good color. You need those jeans." I looked at the price tag, $175.
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm fucking not buying these jeans. She says, "Dad, you need to buy those jeans." So I'm like, "Okay, Rachel, I'll buy the jeans." I bought the jeans, $175. All right. I still have those jeans. I still wear those jeans. As a matter of fact, when the jeans started to get like a little bit, just by washing jeans, you lose some of the color and by just the knees sometimes if you're...
Oh, yeah, you told me about this once. You sent them back and got them repaired, right?
Yeah, like Dr. Denim. So for like $25, I have my jeans fixed, and they mesh the color jean into the actual jean, so you can't actually tell that there's a hole in the knee. These jeans I've now had for 10 years. Now, tell me how good. I look at clothing as an investment. I wear my clothes very, very gently. Are you like do you go through clothes, or do you like,
no,
are you a season of clothing kind of guy?
No, I'm the same way. I totally, it's funny. I threw on I think when I went to a band job a couple months ago and it was cold, I threw on a hoodie, a gray hoodie that was a Pepsi hoodie.
Yeah.
I got in freaking college. I mean, I just thought about that. Like, I remember the Pepsi promo when they did these, and I thought it was the coolest hoodie, and I've still got it. Oh yeah, I totally.
So I wear clothes gently. So I figure, okay, I bought this pair of jeans 10 years ago, 11 years ago, whenever it was. I spent $175 for the jeans, but tell me I have not gotten my wear out of those jeans. And how many other pairs of jeans that I've bought that I've had to discard? Now, again, I don't know if maybe every time I put them on, I think, these are $175 pair of jeans. I should not be really rough on these jeans.
Right.
Or I only wear these for special occasion jeans. Should there be special occasion jeans?
Sometimes, but I mean, I feel like if you are going places where you need a special occasion jean, like where you're the kind of guy where it's like, hey, I'm going to wear jeans wherever I go, but if it's something nice, I'm going to wear nice jeans. So you know what? If your nice ones get worn out, you replace them, and then your nice ones become your casual ones. It's all good.
And I happen to notice, and I'm trying to like really get like my what is my stride as a professional speaker, like what's my attire going to be. I see some guys that get like completely dressed up, and then I see some guys that completely are, holy jeans and a $10 t-shirt. A lot of speakers I've noticed, they wear the dress shoes, like the black shoes. They wear really nice jeans. They wear a button-down shirt and a jacket. Like one of those, not like jacket as in like a suit jacket, but the new kind of jackets that have like a pattern and stuff on them.
Yeah, it's a good look. Yeah,
I'm like, I think that's a good look. But does that come across as like too casual? Like, do you mature into that, or can you start that way?
I totally think that what you wear definitely sends a message to your audience. And for me personally, if I see a guy in jacket and tie, I think of that as pretty old school. And I'm thinking to myself, as soon as I see him, before he even opens his mouth, that maybe he's going to be on the conservative side and not so interesting. But it totally sends a message before you even open your mouth. And you need to decide, okay, what is the image that you want to portray? You know your message, right? So what can you wear that is going to portray that message immediately before you even say anything?
Well, help me create that for a second, because I don't really know what that is for me. I definitely don't want... I've been doing this for now, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. Mm-hmm. When I first started, it was totally I'm wearing a dark or a gray suit, jacket, tie, shirt, conservative all the way. And then I was thinking, I'm really uncomfortable when I'm doing that. I don't want to think about how I feel when I am actually presenting. I want to be able to be comfortable and move around. Then I dropped the tie, so I just went with the suit with a nice button-down shirt without a tie. And then I was thinking, I don't really like the conservative shirt. So then I started to jazz up the shirt. I kept the jacket and the pants, and then I lost the jacket. Like, it's just a matter of time before I'm in shorts and a T-shirt or my pajamas.
Yeah, pajamas. I think that's a good look for you. What did you wear for your NSA conference?
What did I wear for NSA? No jacket. I just wore khakis and a button-down shirt, like a color. I like to have a very colorful shirt. So the kind that when you turn the cuff over, I don't turn the cuff over because I'm not a cuff kind of guy.
Yeah.
But I needed to be a little bit more casual than I think a jacket was going to provide. But Jeffrey was wearing, Jeffrey is really good with this because definitely a professional message. It presented in a way that's very, very, authoritative. I guess that's the best way to say how Jeffrey presents. Really, really knowledgeable, extremely authoritative. He wears a jacket, a shirt, like a button-down shirt and jeans and cowboy boots because that's just his style. Mm-hmm. That wouldn't work for me. I don't know. I just haven't quite figured it out yet. Anyway, we don't have to talk about my attire. It's just very interesting how that will change as you start to develop your style. So this guy that was the last keynote speaker, he was wearing, his name is Siku, and he was wearing Converse and jeans and a jacket. Cool. And a T-shirt under that. So who knows? I don't know. I'll figure it out at some point.
Yeah, it's just got to go with your message, I think. And you just need to settle in and decide what it is you want to do and who you want to be.
Did we spin? Did we do anything? What did we?
Did we talk about?
Did we talk about Overcast or?
No. Please recommend anything on Overcast. We haven't gotten that yet. We've mentioned it all week, but we really need you guys to recommend us on Overcast. We know you're listening on Overcast. Just go to the recommend button, press the star on every single individual episode. We appreciate it. If you want to support the show, go to patreon.com/niceguys. And if you have any interest in starting your own podcast or podcast production, you can go to turnkeypodcast.com. That's all the ads we need right there.
That was good.
Yeah.
We can spin the topics wheel, but I really want to talk about this movie that I saw. So I don't know if there's any way I can kind of.
I did put that on as a pretty big topic on the wheel, so it might come up. Unless you just want to just grab it and you get a free one.
Do you want to just do a what do you call it when you just do something for the effect? Do you want to spin the wheel and we'll just pick the topic?
Spin the wheel for effect, if you want, and then just say whatever it happens to land on. I'm going to say that it actually landed on the Stanford Prison Experiment.
So let me ask this: when the topic wheel is spun and it lands on a topic that you're not interested in picking, do you ignore it? Because I can't see the topics wheel. Only you can. So when it I don't even know how the whole setup works. Do you use Velcro? Is it like a whiteboard kind of topic wheel? What is it?
It doesn't happen that often because you know how like on Wheel of Fortune or on other wheels, you get the really, really big prize and it has a really, really small slot. Yeah. That's what I do. When I've got topics that I don't like so much, it's like a really tiny little slot. And when it's ones that I like, I make it a really big, wide topic. So like when you hear it going click, 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 like the topics I like, it's like 5 or 6 clicks, it'll stay on the same topic. Right?
I got you.
But the ones I don't like, a single click is on, and then the next click they're off of the topic.
Do you print out the topics to put them? I mean, is your inkjet printer like set up? Is there like does Avery have a template for topics?
I hand write them in calligraphy every day.
Jeez.
When you send me the topics 1 minute before we start recording. Actually, as we're recording our intros, I'm writing it in calligraphy and placing it on the wheel.
Did not know. Do you use the old calligraphy pen with the feather?
Exactly, and I dip the ink. Exactly. It's the old style. It's not called a fountain pen. What is that called? It's a.
What the hell is that called? I don't know what it's called.
That's even older than us. So yes, but yes, I dip it in ink and do the calligraphy.
The old inkwell.
The inkwell, exactly.
All right. Well, what is you spun the wheel?
Yeah, the Stanford Prison Experiment. Yes.
Oh my gosh, I was so glad that topic came up. I was so hoping it was going to. I saw this movie this past week called The Stanford Prison Experiment, and it was nuts. This is not a movie that you want to watch if you don't want to have nightmares.
And it is a documentary, right?
It's a documentary, although it's done in movie style format. So it's a documentary in that it's based upon fact.
Oh, so it's like a docudrama. In other words, it is based on real life events, but it's not actually a documentary.
I had never heard of this. And when we were, my wife and I were sitting down in front of Netflix, and we were just like, okay, well, we're going to watch. And I don't. She likes animated movies. I fucking hate animated movies. God, I'm like anything but an animated movie. So she actually gave me the choice of picking the movie that I wanted to. So we go to, of course, I go right to rom-coms. And the category below rom-coms was documentaries. So I found this movie. It was called The Stanford Prison Experiment. And it was about a 1971 Stanford professor. I can't remember his name. Zimbardo, I think is the guy's name. Phil Zimbardo, that's it. And he did this controversial psychological experiment that he picked randomly. Oh, not randomly. He ran an ad. I forget let's just say 10 and 10. So he picked 10 people that were going to be prisoners and 10 people that were going to be guards. Okay, so the people come in, they interview, they decide who's going to be the prisoners, who's going to be the guards, and they take on the role of being prisoners and guards for a period of, I think they set up the experiment to be for 2 weeks in length. So they weren't letting anybody go home. It was guards and prisoners, and it's amazing. It is amazing the transformation of the people that were the prisoners into actual prisoners. They take on the mentality. And the guys that were the guards, some of these guys were like they were ridiculous. I mean, they went too far. They went too far. So this experiment that was supposed to last just a couple of weeks only lasted less than a week, and the results are just amazing. Do you know anything about the movie? I mean, have you seen the movie or heard anything about it?
I've heard some details about the actual experiment over the years, but I've never seen the movie, and I don't know. It's a very famous experiment, but I really don't know a lot of the details about it. But it is so interesting because he was obviously a psychology teacher, and he was trying to study the psychology of, being a prisoner or being somebody who is in position of authority over prisoners or over other people who are, incarcerated and it looks really interesting. I have to watch it.
Yeah, great movie. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's right on Netflix, or just you might even be able to get it through YouTube. I just put a Strick, just so you know, I just put a link in the OneNote spot where you can actually just take that and put it in the show notes. We'll put a link to the trailer in the show notes if you want. That would be a really good one. If you're ever only going to look at the show notes once and never again, this would be the episode to do it, because that link is really good.
Yeah. There was something I mentioned probably hundreds of episodes ago. There's a thing called flow that somebody was studying, right? A guy's talking about how high-performing athletes, like the quarterback on a team, right? How when they say, hey, it felt like everything was moving in slow motion, right? Right. He gave this a term. He decided to call it flow, right? And it's, it's a very real thing. So what he did was he gave a bunch of students pagers. Every 30 minutes, they had to chime in with what they were doing and whether they felt the time was moving quickly or slowly. Because, of course, the hard part about figuring out what is flow is his theory on it was that when you're doing something that you're really good at and that you really love, then it makes time just...
Oh, yeah.
It flies by faster, but that it can be like slow motion. Like you can just see everything and feel everything that's going on. Whereas if I were to jump in and be a quarterback in the NFL, I'd be like, oh my fucking God, it'd be ridiculously overwhelming. But Peyton Manning does it, and it's just, Anyway, so his theory was that for different people, everybody obviously has different skill sets of things that they're good at or bad at or like or don't like, right? So he wanted to find out all of the things that people do over the course of a day that they love and then things that they don't like. So I don't remember the specifics of it, but it's something along the lines of every 30 minutes they would have to check in and say, this is what I'm doing. And either like I enjoy it or I'm not enjoying it or I feel like time is moving quickly or slowly. So from that, people did that for a couple of weeks or a month or something. He would figure out for specific people what they loved. And what he did was he took away things that they enjoyed, right? Whatever it was that these people enjoyed, he took it away. And he was going to basically put them in a regular life situation for a week. But anything that they really loved, they couldn't do.
So give me an example. Can you I'm not 100% following you.
Okay, so let's say that over the course of a day, let's say hypothetically that I don't like my job. I mean, I love my job, right? But let's say hypothetically I don't like my job and I come home and maybe I really hate washing the dishes or I hate vacuuming, right? But I like watching TV or I like playing video games and that's what I have to look forward to at the end of the day when I get home, right?
Okay.
So those things that I enjoy are taken away. Okay.
So you're going to take away video games, watching TV, and so how do they take them away though? That's the part I'm missing.
It's somehow it was a controlled.
I got it. Like
experiment.
When they say you can't do that, so so the people they're aware that they're not able to do that. They're told what they can't do.
Exactly.
Okay,
So,
I got it.
After they have honed down to each specific person what it is that they love, because different people really get jazzed by different things, right?
Yeah, sure.
So they took away and they were going to do this for a week and see what kind of psychological effect it had on people, right? Mm-hmm. They had to stop the experiment after 2 days.
Right.
Because people, like everybody was ridiculously lethargic. Like nobody wanted to do anything. They had no energy. They didn't want to, all they wanted to do was eat.
In other words, what you're putting into the day then is only the things that you don't like doing. Like you were to say to me, hey, listen, like for me, the thing that I love the most is when we record our podcast. I mean, literally, I look forward to it, and it is something that it goes by like in the drop of a hat. But I feel like totally when we're doing episodes, especially this week, that we were clicking this week. Not only on the intros, but on the Tuesday episode too, and today's episode. So it's like, man, that is just, I'm feeling good. I feel like these are some great episodes that are coming out. So you're going to take that away from me and make me do like just the social media posts.
Exactly.
I'm like, no fucking way.
Right. And they realized incredibly quickly what kind of psychological effect it has. And then there's short-term and long-term, right? So like short-term for us, when we record our podcast, time seems to fly by because we're really enjoying ourselves and having a great time, right? But also, and this part seems obvious, but really, I don't think people put enough credence, enough importance on it, right? Hey, I can't wait for the weekend, right? Like, okay, when you've got a job that you don't like, right? If you didn't have the weekend to look forward to,
it would be,
you go nuts, right?
Yeah,
you have to have things that you look forward to be able to get through the things that you don't like. And I've been in situations before where maybe I am in a job that I don't like, right? And if I was at a time in my life where I didn't have something to look forward to, like an exciting weekend or going home to see friends or doing whatever, man, my whole fucking life is like, but when people say, my life sucks, my job sucks, whatever. Well, if your job sucks, but you do have something that you love to look forward to, you can get through it. But if you don't have that, it affects everything in your life. So let's say that you love to play paintball and you live for paintball and you play paintball every Saturday, right? Well, just that one thing, that couple hours of enjoyment can help motivate you through the entire week.
I wonder if that has something to do with, I wonder if goals are the same way. I'm thinking about it in a different way now. And it's not that I enjoy setting my goals, but it gives me a target to shoot for in the future. So even if I'm going through what I would consider drudgery at the time, whether it's whatever it is, I don't even know if something that I hate doing. I tend to eliminate the things that I really hate doing in my life. Yeah, there's things I like less than others, but is there anything that you really do as a part of your life that you don't like? And if you are in our community and you're one of those people that does stuff on a regular basis that you just completely just hate, well, stop doing that. I know it sounds too like I'm being too simplistic with it. I know that you have bills. I know you have all that shit to deal with. But God, how life is way, way too short, and you're too important a person to do shit in your life that you don't like doing.
Yeah, but you see, I kind of, I'm a lot more gray than you are black and white, right? Like, hey, I hate paying my mortgage. It's so fucking high, right? Well, look, you got to do that, right? But there are certain things, certain responsibilities that I think people have, but I feel like there are two things. First of all, there are things that we hate to do that sometimes you can get other people to do. I mean, you get, virtual assistants and shit like that where, great example, right? Like, hey, I don't feel like mowing the fucking lawn, right? Well, you know what? I can pay a kid $15 or $20 to mow the lawn. And is it worth that for the time that I get back? Hey, it may be, right? There's a lot of things in your life that you could hire a VA or, Tackle. I've just been seeing ads for that, right? TAKL. It's basically a service that's like, what is it you don't want to do? Oh, I don't feel like cleaning my kitchen. Well, go on Tackle and you can pay somebody to come over and clean your kitchen or mow your lawn or sweep up the leaves or whatever it is that you want to do, right? So there's always the option for that. But I also feel like you have to make sure you have things that you love in your life. Let's say your weekend consists of, oh yeah, I get to sit around and watch TV and so I get to relax. Well, you know what? If you don't absolutely positively love TV, okay, yeah, that'll help you get through it. Like you don't have to work, maybe, but you need something more. And you have to look really hard and figure out something that you love to look forward to, and it will affect the rest of your life and the rest of your week.
When the hell did this become an advice show?
I don't know. Well, it's funny. Like we always talk about business advice and we don't get into it much, but we do talk about life advice on and off where it's like, if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of your business.
Maybe we should call this the nice guys on life.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. And we've realized that entrepreneurs are not our audience anyway. It's really realtors.
Wait a minute. We had this debate though already once. Entrepreneurs could potentially be realtors could potentially be entrepreneurs as well.
Well, yeah, and they're definitely realtors obviously are independent contractors. So in some sense, they are definitely entrepreneur-ish. But, we've been working under the probably false premise. We haven't heard from anybody. Please tell us what you do because we don't know.
That's not going to work.
Yeah, it hasn't yet, but whatever. That our listeners are entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs and, the facts have not.
I still really do think that real estate agents have a streak of entrepreneurial spirit. I think
of course. Absolutely. They have the entrepreneurial
vehicle
spirit
that they're using may not traditionally be thought of as somebody that's an entrepreneur, but it's not like they're in a startup. I think there's a difference between a startup entrepreneur and there are entrepreneurs that work for big organizations. They just have their own ideas, they have their own philosophies, and they have their own practices. I do think that an entrepreneur can work for another organization, just bringing their skill set to that company.
Sure.
And I think that just as equally, I think an entrepreneur could be in the real estate game as well. It really just takes on its own. Who came on the show a couple weeks ago, the land geek. Crap, I forget his name. Who was that? Can you one note that?
Sure. Let's find the land geek.
Mark. Was it Mark?
Mark Podolsky.
Yeah, Mark Podolsky.
Episode 411.
Yeah, Mark probably has his real estate license. I think he does. Maybe he doesn't.
I don't remember him saying he has a real estate license. I know what you're saying though. No, there's difference between like actually starting your own company and being an entrepreneur versus having the entrepreneurial spirit. And I agree. If you are a realtor, you have to somewhat have the entrepreneurial spirit in you because you are working for yourself. You're an independent contractor and you got to have that drive. And if you're not making sales, then you are not putting food on the table. So you absolutely have to have the entrepreneurial spirit to be a realtor.
We have a bunch of topics that we haven't gotten to on the topics list. Should we hold them over until next week, or do you? How far into the episode are we?
I don't know. We're about not quite 30 minutes. Let's do one more topic.
Can we do one more?
Okay. Topic.
I know which one I hope it is. I got one. Yeah.
It looks like Dallin Miller chat. Is it Dallin? Is that the way you pronounce it?
Yeah. Okay.
Dallin.
Dallin. No, you got it. Yeah, Dallin Miller. Dallin is that wasn't actually the topic that I was going to talk about. But
what did you want to talk about?
I wanted to do the Are We Too Connected?
Oh, okay. Well, we could do that too.
You know what? Let's do this. Part of the bonus episode that we're gonna chat about, we can actually talk a little bit more about Dallin's company and what he does.
Oh, well, maybe we can talk about it in the intro of the show.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Tune in a little bit later on this week or maybe next week, depending on how motivated Strickland is actually going to get.
If we're going to do it this week, we're going to do it this week. We said
that would be great.
You said you wanted it, in fact, either yesterday or today, it will have been posted, Wednesday or Thursday.
Okay, so we will have, or we will go. We will have, or we had just had a conversation about Dallin and his PR company. But I wanted to talk about this because I thought this was such a great thing that happened as we started to record the podcast. You got a phone call. So can you explain the phone call, Strick?
So I'm in my glass enclosed nerve center recording, my basement actually, recording the podcast, right? And my wife is upstairs, and I get a phone call, and it's my wife, and she's like, "Hey, are you here?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm in the basement. I'm recording podcast with Doug." "Oh, okay, thanks." And I'm like, "Really? I mean, are we just too connected?" Like, she could just like yell downstairs or kind of walk down and check, but it's just too easy to pick up the phone or just text somebody. I mean, are we too connected? I mean, there are apps out there where it's like you can find your friends and it'll tell you where geographically they are.
Or you could find your keys. You could find your keys just as easily by having a little.
I really like being that connected. But and I haven't signed up for any of these, but I know there are ones that will notify you when you are geographically near friends. Like, let's say you're out having a beer somewhere, right? It'll buzz you and say, "Hey, by the way, Doug Sandler is a mile away over at this place."
Does it take the whole creative process of making plans away? Does it make it easier for you? So I guess the thought process that I go through is, are you doing it as a matter of, I'm not calling your wife lazy at all. Believe me, I know Kim. She's an extremely hard worker, and I'm not calling her lazy. Is it just sheer laziness that creates a situation where you actually call downstairs instead of walking downstairs and then walking back upstairs, or is it just out of convenience? So, what do you give me your 35,000 foot approach as to how you're approaching this idea?
It totally is a fine line because where they say laziness is the mother of invention, and it's so true. It's like, why does something get invented? Well, because somebody didn't feel like doing it that way anymore. They didn't want to do it by hand, so they invented some machine to do it. And, when you think about it that way, it's like, sure, she could have come walking downstairs, but it's just too easy to pick up the phone. Right. It's not like we get charged by the minute anymore. Anybody does, right? Like, just make a call or make a text or whatever. So is
it the same person that is calling? And again, I'm not picking on Kim at all, but Kim is the catalyst for this conversation. Mm-hmm. So Kim, if you are listening to this episode, I love you. You know I'm not. Fuck it, then you are lazy ass motherfucker. No, I'm just kidding. So it's the same person that is calling from upstairs to downstairs to their spouse or their kids to come upstairs. Is that the same person that is wearing a Fitbit trying to get as many steps in the course of the day? I would argue it probably is the same person.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me. I got to charge my Fitbit up and start wearing that again. Yeah, I haven't done that.
So that would be my question: is the same person texting their loved one in another room the same person that is wearing the Fitbit to try to get fit through the course of their day? Is it necessity is the mother of invention, and that we're trying to figure out how to become more active in our lives, or can you just? I don't know. I'm troubled by the texting one room to another, and yet I find myself doing it at times. So I'm truly perplexed and guilty of this situation.
But what exactly is it that troubles you? Because I see those two things as mutually exclusive. So let's say that your first instinct is to, I'm just going to text down to somebody, right? Well, let's say you happen to have your Fitbit on, right? And your Fitbit gives you a little warning that says, "Hey, by the way, you haven't exercised in an hour," right? Right. Maybe when it warns me, I'm going to go, you know what? It would be really easy for me to just text, but my Fitbit has reminded me that I've been sitting on the couch for an hour. So you know what? I'm going to walk downstairs and do it instead. So I don't think that they're like mutually exclusive of each other. I think the Fitbit can be a big help. But the question is, why does it trouble you? Like, do you feel like it's lazy, or what is it that troubles you about
it? It just seems like, maybe I'm wrong, I'm the same guy that will text my wife in the other room to say, "Hey, what are we going to do for dinner?" and I will be on the phone pacing as I'm talking to somebody that's on the other side of the phone. So I will walk 3 miles between the 13 steps between my bedroom and my office, which is where I tend to pace. But I will text my wife that's downstairs to say, what are we doing for dinner? I guess I want convenience when I want it, and I want to leave it on the table when I don't want it.
Well, I think that's it. So I think you are associating the ease of connectedness with being lazy, but they're not necessarily connected.
Okay.
I think that's really it, right? Like, what are you going to cost yourself by not walking downstairs and talking to her? Okay, you're not going to cost yourself a minute and like 50 steps. Okay, well, you know what? It's not like you wanted to walk a mile to go see her, and it's costing you 50 steps or whatever. So I don't know that they have that much to do with it. They could. You could certainly make the choice to be so ridiculously lazy that you just order food and have it delivered all the time, and that you use that connectedness not to get any exercise. But I don't know that they necessarily have to be connected.
All right, so if you have some words to say about this, just go ahead and hit me up on Twitter, #FitbitFucker.
I will be amazed if that hashtag gets used at all. You need to search next week for that, because I'm telling you, nobody's going to do that. Fitbitfucker. Unless somebody has already created the hashtag and is using it for something completely different that I don't think I want the details on.
If you're forgetting the hashtag, we'll put it in the show notes. Oh my gosh, that is funny. Hey, let's put a wrap to this.
Yeah,
if we I mean literally, no, let's put a wrap to this. I got the theme song, the beats to Rapper's Delight. Let's put a wrap to this.
You can rap over the match game theme music. How's that?
You know what I think we need to do? If you could give me the bed music to Rapper's Delight.
I would love to, but I can't do it that quick.
No, not right now. For future episodes, if you can just make a silent note to yourself to maybe text yourself. I know. Let's come up with it. Give me the bed music for Rapper's Delight, just the beats to it, not the words, because I do know every word to Rapper's Delight. Just so you know. But I would do a whole. I think I could do a rap for the Nice Guys on Business podcast if we just had some subject. I could try, because
we haven't done the Nice Guy Blues in a while, so you need to do a rap version.
Maybe we'll try. Maybe we'll step up to the year 1976 instead of the blues.
Yeah, moving up a few years to 76, right?
All right, let's call this a wrap. Let's get out of here. I think we've covered plenty this week. We got a lot to go. Nice Guy community, thank you for all that you are doing and getting our episodes heard, listened to, and exposed to our Overcast audience, iTunes, everything. We got 100 days. That is our goal, 100 days. Now we're shorter than 100 days because we started that on Monday. So we have 96 days to get to 1 million downloads.
Have we figured out yet what date 96 days from now is?
No.
No. We can't count that high.
Wait a minute. I can do it. Hold on a second. Let's see. What day is this up airing? This is Thursday? This is the 20th?
20th, yeah.
Jeez. I don't know how to do that. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35. Oh shit. I don't know how to do it. It's not a lot.
Yeah,
it's not. I don't know how to do it. I had 100 days onto Monday the 17th. So that would be July 117. I don't know what that is, though.
Yeah, that's a date.
That's not how that works.
Not exactly.
That's not how that works. All right, let's do it. Let's wrap. Steve O'Brien, take us out of here.
For the Nice Guys on Business, I'm Steve O'Brien. Do you think they could have rambled on any longer today? Blah, bitty, blah, bitty, blah, bitty, blah.